Hello, I'm Malcolm Fleschner, back with another video blog. As you probably recall, during the healthcare debate of 2009, there was a great deal of talk about rescission, the practice health insurance companies use to deny coverage, typically by digging through a policyholder's medical history to find some pretext for refusing to pay a medical claim. So, for example, when you signed up for health insurance, if you failed to disclose that when you were 18 you had a boil and your rectum lanced, well, that, according to the insurance company, is a pre-existing condition. So tough luck now that you've got a brain tumor, but we're not covering you. Oh, and thanks for all those premiums you paid us. The healthcare bill put a crimp in health insurance companies' use of rescission, but a great money-making idea for screwing over your customers like rescission doesn't die easily. Now it's begun cropping up in the life insurance industry. According to a recent LA Times article, life insurance companies are saving hundreds of millions of dollars a year by using rescission to deny claims when customers die within 2 years of signing a new policy. So let's say your husband dies of a sudden heart attack 18 months after purchasing life insurance. In this case, the life insurance company might come back and say, well, we looked a little closer at your husband's records, and it turns out that he never mentioned that foot fungus he had treated back in 1982. And now he's dying of a heart attack? A little suspicious, don't you think? Nice try, though. Oh, and sorry for your loss. Republicans, now that they control the House, have made it clear that they want to repeal the healthcare bill, which would bring rescission back. But they don't want to stop there, because you know how the right wing is always talking about how government should be run more like a business? Well, what better way to apply the successes of the insurance industry than by using rescission to cut people off from the government's biggest insurance program, Social Security? Because remember, that's what Social Security is essentially. A sort of life insurance program run by the government. The difference is that with traditional life insurance, you pay in and then other people collect the money if you die unexpectedly. Whereas with Social Security, you pay in and then you collect the money if you don't die unexpectedly. Unfortunately, rescission is kind of a pain in the ass and involves a lot of work. Much as Republicans love nothing more than demanding to see other people's birth certificates and immigration papers, not to mention letting the government tap your phone and read all your emails, it's not really practical to rummage through every single American's personal history to find some phony baloney excuse for cutting off your Social Security. So instead of this piecemeal, case-by-case basis, the right-wing approach to cutting Social Security is to say to the American people, we just need to make a slight adjustment, to save Social Security. So up to now, you've been paying into the system for your whole working life based on a promise of a certain return. Well, from here on out, instead of paying in and getting back what you were promised, you're still going to pay in, but, and here's the slight difference, you're not going to get back what you were promised. Minor difference. Just one word, really. Not. Small word. And why aren't you going to get everything back you were promised? Well, because we needed to borrow all that money from you to pay for other critical expenses, like lining the pockets of defense contractors, giving tax breaks to our Wall Street pals, and paying bribes to people pretending to be Taliban leaders. These sorts of things ain't cheap. Plus, there are a few countries left in the Middle East that we're keeping our eyes on for future wars. And at this point, for you to demand that money back, well, it's a little greedy, don't you think? So what can we do to make sure we get back the Social Security money we were promised when we paid it in? Well, unfortunately, we don't have the kind of influence over the government that big banks like Goldman Sachs or J.P. Morgan do. We're just the American people, after all. Then again, the banks offer a good example of what to do when a customer can't pay back a loan. So maybe we need to make it clear to our legislators that if we don't get back all of our Social Security money, we'll do the same thing to them that banks do to their delinquent customers. Kick them out of their house. Until next time, this is Malcolm Fleschner for the Young Turks saying, stay strong, nation.